40K History! The Imperial Guard is the primary fighting force of the Imperium, so numerous in size that even the Departamental Munitorium cannot place a figure on the number of guardsmen under arms at any one time. The daily lists of new recruits and the toll of casualties can run into the millions in a single day. It would be infeasible trying to put an exact number on the strength of the Guard. However, it is believed that there must be many billions of Imperial Guardsmen divided into millions of regiments. This absolute numeracy provides the Guard with its main power, their ability to deploy in numbers that eventually result in victory, attacking in seemingly endless influxes across battle zones, charging forth under the cover of massive barrages, and delivering massed lasgun volleys. In the Guard, the individual human soldier may appear a lost thing, almost forgotten, yet the actions of these anonymous soldiers daily decide the fate of the worlds. The Guard forms the very backbone of the Imperium. Without it, mankind would surely perish, whilst Guardsmen are hardly equals of Space Marines, fighting neither with the advantages of genetic enhancement or the most powerful personal weaponry. The Guard possesses the courage and the manpower to face and annihilate the enemies of the Emperor across the galaxy. The Imperial Guard, as the standing human armed force of the Imperium, can trace its origin back to the days of the Great Crusade, several millennia ago, when it was a somewhat different organization known as the Imperial Army. Following the events of the Horus Heresy, however, the Imperial Army was split into two organizations, the Imperial Guard and the Imperial Navy. The Imperial Guard is organized into largely autonomous regiments. These regiments are raised by the worlds of the Imperium that have been classified as fit for such a purpose. These regiments can be sent anywhere in the galaxy, potentially serving in designated combat zones for years at a time. It is not considered likely that any guardsman will return to their world of origin. A fading memory of home is considered one of the average guardsman's most constant companions, whilst individual regiments are commanded by their own officers. When regiments are combined together to form a battle group, overall command is often placed with a general staff specifically created for the purpose by the Departamental Munitorium. Such officers and tacticians are highly trained in their esoteric art of commanding from the rear and often stand in stark contrast to regimental commanders at the front, who more often than not lead by example. The regiment is the primary unit of the Imperial Guard. Recruited from a single planet at a single raison, it is founded as a complete entity, complete with its own officer, supply, and support. It should be noted, however, that like most everything else in the Guard, the precise details of even these essential elements can vary widely from world to world, whilst the majority of the regiment, even the non-combatant personnel, will come from their founding world. The commissar, or commissars assigned to it, are always off-worlders. After being raised, the regiment is shipped to its posting. They receive their training during the voyage. Their posting can be directly into the heart of a war zone, or it may be to a garrison or outpost duty. An Imperial Guard regiment is essentially a temporary unit, unlike the Space Marine chapters. After being formed, they normally receive no further reinforcements. It is rarely practical for regiments to receive new recruits from their homeworlds to replace casualties, mainly due to the immense distances between a regiment's homeworld and its posting. The costs, risks, and time lag difficulties involved in transporting relatively few soldiers to reinforce their brethren rarely justify themselves, especially when alternate and more efficient means of reinforcement tend to exist. If on garrison or outpost duty, an Imperial Guard regiment may be able to recruit from the local population. If on active combat duty, two or more understrength regiments may be merged together in order to create a new regiment at full strength. If any regiment survives for long enough, it can eventually receive reinforcement from children born to the Guardsmen, who have been raised inside the regiment and can normally be expected to join it upon reaching the required age. These new recruits, officially designated as probitors, but more commonly called White Shields, are formed into their own platoons, where they receive their latter combat training by taking part in actual combat until they are ready to join the regiment as Guardsmen proper. The Imperial Guard's countless regiments include all manner of infantry, cavalry, both mechanized and not, artillery and war machines, Each particular regiment is normally uniform in organization inside itself, and often seem to specialize in one particular form of war. For instance, light infantry regiments can barely demonstrate any motorized transport and certainly possess no weapons that are not man-portable. In contrast, an artillery regiment can contain little else. This ensures that the Imperial Guard are at their strongest when multiple regiments are massed together, despite the technological immensity that the Imperial Guard can deliver to the battlefield. The cold fact of the matter is that the most important resource of the Guard is the seemingly limitless number of bodies it can deploy to contest its objectives. It does not matter the number of casualties it may take to win a battle. The Imperial Guard will devote many thousands of men to overcome a small goal, as the Space Marines would devote a few hundred. Obviously, a Guardsman can never possess the battle prowess of a Space Marine, but there are many millions of Guardsmen for just that one Space Marine.
Visit miniwargaming.com to see our videos 1 month early.